So where did she run her mouth most at? TikTok or something like that? I know there's this one girl that goes live all the time. She has this monotone, put you to sleep, little shrill voice.
No,
Always
this
seems
one's a
like
little
she's
more lively. Her
composed.
name's Skylar, and the link is right there. She's a is her TikTok thing. It's a Philly the space, foul the space. I don't know her channel
I
name,
guarantee
but
you.
check it out. It's
I guarantee when I look at it,
main
it's probably her. I'm gonna go look right now.
Philly Deli space.
This is not the same one that I was
Not the same
thinking
one.
of,
Yeah, not
but
the same one I was thinking. The one I'm talking about is blonde. I suggest we do the next review on her specifically to bring out the nights.
Get it straight. You want us to attack a popular female TikToker or videographer of some description simply to bring out the white knights to defend her?
Oh no, I mean no,
yeah,
I don't want to do it for that
but
reason.
not
I don't
this
want to do it
one.
specifically for that reason. But if they want to come, let them come because they, according to what he said, they got her back. But if she's reaching
Well, yeah,
a populace,
I would say do it for that specific reason, definitely. Like there's a reason that Neil deGrasse Tyson is pushed forward in current modern times because Neil Tyson's thoughts matter. So
I just say that she's reaching a populace and she's influential and she's moving up the ranks, then she's worthy of a review. Just like this guy that looks like, William Nye, the science guy. Okay, so she's really marketing herself. Okay. I ain't mad at her.
Which is what happens to you if you fall into a black hole. But how do we actually know that that's what would happen? We haven't fallen into any black holes last time I checked. Spaghettification is an example of what we call a tidal force, and we see tidal forces all the time.
So, because you see tidal forces, you're saying spaghettification is real? Now, spaghettification is described within Einsteinian fourth-dimensional pseudo-geometry, my love. Maybe you were unaware of that.
They show up because the gravitational fields aren't constant.
Gravitational what now? Again, described in a pseudo-geometry.
They vary depending how far away you are from the source of the field.
Really? The variation of gravity? What, this non-force described in pseudo-geometry? How can that vary in physical reality? Oh, it can't. This sounds like an elongated process of reification.
Here's an easy way to visualize tidal forces. This is the Earth down here, and we've got a...
Sorry, why am I visualizing tidal forces when you could be showing us spaghettification?
bunch of balls up above the Earth's surface, and they're arranged...
Are they?
Kind of like this.
Really? What, like gas particles above Earth's surface, obeying entropy, spreading out, leaving everybody dead? What kind of balls are these?
If we drop them all at the same time, they're all going to feel a pull of gravity, but the gravity...
Really? What about the gas I just described? Does gas have the pull of gravity working upon it? Or does gas expand in all directions? Sounds like this chick doesn't know what gas is, or how gas behaves, when she describes little balls all moving towards the centre of Earth. No. What's this chick's name? Fiddledy Space?
Skylar, like the sky.
Skylar? Skylar, you don't know what you're talking about. You're describing these concepts that first and foremost have been derived by flat planes, and then reifying them into physicality, describing how, gas go down, go boom boom to the centre of Earth? Oh dear, no, gas behaviour defies this force of gravity you're about to reify.
Gravity is going to vary for each ball. The ball at the bottom is going to feel a stronger force down compared to the ball at the top.
Really? So you're saying gas go down, go boom boom? No, definitely not. You see, gas would defy this utter tribe.
And then the ones at the side are going to be angled in slightly. So as the...
When gas behaviour is that it moves randomly in all directions? I'm thinking not, love. No, there's no gas moving to the centre of your ball Earth bullshit.
Balls fall, they're going to go from this shape to this shape, just due from the different gravities that they experience at these points. Now, these are all separate objects, but we could still consider them to be one solid thing, and you would see the same effect. Imagine we have a moon, and that moon is moving closer and closer to its planet for whatever reason. As it gets closer, we're going to have a...
No, this works outside the context of orbital motion, which is derived from a flat plane. This girl has got absolutely no idea what she's babbling about, has she?
Much stronger gravitational pull at the bottom of...
Sorry, gravity is not a force. George Musa, Scientific American. What's this chick's name? Skylar? Yo, Skylar! George Musa, you might want to go and have a little chat with him about gravity not being a force. Oh, what's that? This chick's only educated to a high school level, so is now describing and reifying gravity as a force when it's a bent space-time in fourth dimensions invented by Einstein. Why are you describing how much of something when it's not a force?
That's what I was going to ask, Nathan. Shouldn't she be describing how the bending of space-time is causing all of this?
She's only educated to a high school level. She thinks she's being clever. She thinks she's detailing pseudo-Riemannian force space-time bending when she describes how much force affects the moon. It's not force. She's just a bimbo.
Of it than the top. And as this thing is orbiting around, it's actually going to get sheared apart.
Sorry, orbiting? This motion described by way of a derivation of a flat plane measurement? No, what you're guilty of, bimbo, is reification. Long word, huh? Maybe look it up.
Ripping apart of moons is what can form rings, and it's actually going to happen to Mars down the line as it's...
Is it? That sounds like a baseless assertion based on a reification derived from an R value that's been put into motion in an orbit that's come from a flat plane?
Moons are moving closer and closer to the surface.
Are
So
they?
we
Show me. Prove it.
do see these sort of tidal impacts all the time.
What,
Spaghetti
with gas? Do we see tidal impacts with gas that's dispersing? In line with natural law? Second law of thermodynamics? Something you just defied with your little diagram. And your force of gravity that's been out of date for 108 years. Yeah, are you that far out of touch with the reality that you don't even know what gravity is for you to describe and quantify how much of it there'll be? It's not a force, my love.
Spaghettification is just an extreme version of this. Because a black hole's gravity is so strong, you don't have to be...
Strong? What, like a force? The strongness of a black hole that's been described through the reification process of taking an orbital motion derived from a flat plane and then having Neil deGrasse Tyson tell you what lensing effects will happen when describing light and its gravitational attraction within a bent 4D space-time, and how that'll affect what you see through a telescope. It's absolutely sad.
as big as a moon in order to have big differences in the force from
Right,
one...
the size of the moon is derived also from flat plane measurements. R-value derivations. Christian Huygens superimposing the size of a presupposed spherical Earth derived from a flat plane onto Venus in line with the orbital motion that came from Kepler. This is so far over your head. About as high over your head as your hand's showing right now, love. That's how far over your head this is.
one side of you to the other. Just a single human will feel those tidal effects. I should
Really? And we feel gravity that's not a force? So it's comparable because gravity's not a force? Hasn't been for 108 years. How's this comparable? This sounds like the rantings of a bimbo. You think that'll get the White Knights in? Is that what you were hoping for? Just asking from the peanut gallery.
also note that we've observed this sort of spaghettification thing happening as stars fall into black holes.
So the black hole concept derived within the pseudo-geometry of Einstein, we've observed that. No. The mathematical conception has been described as what is being observed through telescopes. That's very different.
See them show up in simulations like this, where this is a
Oh, they black holes in pseudo-geometry show up in simulations? Really? So what?
star that has been spaghettified.
No, it isn't. You've just told me it's a simulation, you daft cow. That's not a star doing anything. It's your little computer program. You understand the difference there? When you say it's a star being spaghettified? No, it isn't, because spaghettification takes its lead from a pseudo-geometry with a fourth-dimensional space-time being bent by the uneven distribution of mass, which is not a force. Yeah? Are you getting this down, love? Have you got a pen?
Can't see anything this detailed when we actually look at the universe because
But you didn't. You looked at a model, a simulation. You didn't look at anything. You didn't even fall for the folly of the reification that all of these pseudo-geometries are derived from. That's looking at things through telescopes, not simulations, love.
Nathan,
telescopes don't have the...
Yes.
wasn't it a thing that black holes technically only are calculated and described on a 2D plane? Because they can't get it to work any other way?
the resolution, but we can detect changes in brightness and surface area from events as stars get torn apart like this. So then,
Like what? Like in your simulation? No, stars aren't being torn apart. You're looking at little twinkling lights in the sky, love. Your description within your simulation of how they get torn apart because of how Einstein has described them in a pseudo-geometry has absolutely no bearing on what's being observed in the sky by way of the descriptions they ascribe to it that you have basically regurgitated. Well, you've regurgitated the surface puke that you lapped up, love. But it just made you look very stupid.
there you have it. That's how we know.
No, it isn't. You don't know anything. You're ignorant. You enjoyed that?
Edit that out.
But that's what it is.
Nathan.
They are ignorant, right?
Sounds like just another Becky.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I thought it was.
I got a guy who looks exactly like Arwen.
That's a pretty good insult. You're as dumb as Becky.
Hey, I got another guy who looks just like Arwen that does the same thing.
You're supposed to poke the bears now. You're supposed to poke those white knights you were talking about.
No, that was what's the name? The guy sounds like John. I just posted another TikTok link. His name is Evan Evan Horizon.
No, bloody jukebox.
Even Horizon.
Now you've got to now react. You've got to go. Yeah.
Even Horizon?
How dare you attack a white woman?
You're getting there slowly. Not quite.
I'm sorry, I'm not a white knight.
Isn't about race.
What do white knights say?
Same as the black ones. We were almost there with the how dare you attack this woman when she is.
That's all I got, man. I have no simp in me.
I'm suggesting, as you suggested, that the whole point of me doing that would be to enrage others who support her in her heliocentric endeavors.
Well, you got to cut it out and post it.
Oh,
And
maybe I
leave
can
a nice
help
little
you.
comment.
I
can
bet
leave
she
a nice
doesn't
little comment.
understand science.
Hold on, but Jean's just in the middle of giving me a few lists of things to do, aren't you, Jean?
I didn't say that.
Cut it out and post it.
Okay, we'll just hide it here 2 hours deep into a
You're missing
numbered
my
flat
point.
earth chat.
What am I going to trim out? You moaning about me not trimming it out? You serious? You're supposed to comment. It's got like blood out of a stone. Hello. You've asked me to react to
No,
a
that
specific individual.
that wasn't my idea. That was what's his name's idea. I don't know where he is now. He left.
Oh, my bad.
I'm right here. I'm
No,
at
the
work.
other guy.
It's hard for me to.
My bad. You all sound the same to me.
God damn it! I'm not even black though. How do I sound
Nice
like?
one.
It was a joke. It's supposed to be ironic.
Yeah,
I
you'll
really-
get it
I-
one
I-
day, Gene. You'll get it one
No,
day.
there's something there. There's something there, Nathan, that makes you get confused. There's something there. I can't figure it out though.
Well, I get him mixed up with Adam sometimes when Adam's sober. I mean, they sound kind of like.
Oh,
Only thing with-
I'm trying
But,
to, like, blood out of a stone, get your reaction to, now we've addressed one of the videographers. I'm sure there's more. Yes, there's Evan too.
But I'm glad you did that though. But I didn't mean today. I mean, I'm flattered that you decided to
Would you
take
like
a suggestion
chat?
from me. But I want you to do it on the live so that the YouTube people can be involved and the chats can open up. That's what I wanted. Maybe they would have served
like
more.
we're live in front of 100 people. Daft cow.
Oh, that was wonderful. Okay, well, let's do another one, as obviously it hasn't generated that much discussion.
So if
But
the
hold up,
universe
really,
is
oh, really, Gene?
expanding,
What's
why
the
is the
space?
Andromeda Galaxy headed straight at us? Well, it's because
What? The sky's coming straight for us?
my God.
Holy crap!
We are
Because
going to
cosmic
die.
ex-
Oh, relative.
This guy started off on the wrong
Be
foot.
afraid. Be very, very afraid.
It's coming right for us.
expansion is only significant on the very largest scales. Our solar system is not expanding. Our galaxy isn't expanding. Not even the cluster of galaxies that we're in, along with Andromeda, is expanding. All of these structures are bound, held together by gravity, which, on scales as relatively small as these, is strong enough to hold them together in spite.
Whoa. Strong enough? God, another complete bimbo.
Uh-oh.
Hello, you daft cow. Gravity's not a force. Bloody stupid woman.
Spite of the overall expansion of space. And the local motion of galaxies within clusters is still dictated by the mutual gravity felt between them. Andromeda is destined.
Right, do they feel it like it's a force? Professor Brian Cox, there isn't really a force of gravity at all. End quote, Professor Brian Cox. So what are they feeling? What are they fondling?
Yep. And also, I'd like to know
Universe expanding
what's
into
this
what?
evidence of an actual moving galaxy? He was talking about moving. Is there any actual motion that's ever been associated with that? Or they did just model it that it's supposed to be moving?
Hey, you guys see his page? He actually responds to like every comment. He responds with a video and I guess try to prove himself right. So we should do one on him.
Yeah.
To collide with the Milky Way because the two galaxies are gravitationally attracted and falling into one another. It is only
Attracted? What, like mass attracting mass? That sort of attractive force. George Musa, Scientific American. Gravity is not a force. What is it with these idiots? Why don't they understand their own rhetoric?
on cosmological.
You missed the part, Nathan, but you could think of it as a force. Very important part of it.
It's probably the platform.
Scales. We're talking the space between galaxy clusters that cosmic expansion really takes over. So if the
Garbage. Dealing with numpties regurgitating surface heliocentric puke. This has existed long before Flat Earth. This has nothing to do with Flat Earth. This is just some gimp talking about nonsense that he's regurgitated, that he's learnt about heliocentrism. Badly. You know what I mean? There's no bearing on us.
Yep, he sucks.
No center, no edge.
the universe doesn't have a center or an edge. It's not a
Really? Well, how come we can describe Earth in a geocentric manner when mapping and navigating the Earth? And what we use to do that is wrapped around us in the form of the celestial sphere. Now, that is something that has a practical application in terms of how we physically negotiate the ground that we are standing upon. I'd like him to give me any practical application for his spinning balls in sky vacuums.
not expanding from any particular point, and the Big Bang didn't happen at a specific.
Like, the Big Bang was just invented by a dude called Lemaitre. It's just an idea. It's just a little story. It didn't happen at all. It's invented by a
in
dude.
the 20th century, very late. Like before that, there were different ideas. Nobody ever talks about that on the ball side.
Specific location. The center of the universe is everywhere. The universe is expanding from everywhere, and the Big Bang happened everywhere.
So, did this dick just not tell us that it's not expanding?
Well, he's saying that the Big Bang wasn't the point. It happened everywhere, apparently.
Big Bang
Which
is a first law of thermodynamics violation.
Right, but he's basically saying that the Big Bang isn't the Big Bang because if it would be happening everywhere, it's not going to be the Big Bang.
Yeah,
now,
I
is
get
it?
that. After we decide that there is a Big Bang, okay, let's just rewind for a second. You say this guy responds. Okay. Explain how you get around the first law of thermodynamics violation that the Big Bang is before you start telling me what it is or isn't. Get around the first law of thermodynamics violation. Do that for me. Evan. Yeah? Big Bang, first law of thermodynamics violation, go.
According to the cosmological principle, the universe on the largest scales is homogeneous and isotropic.
Meanwhile, everything we experience is inhomogeneous in terms of the gas that we actually experience around us in the known existence of our universe. That would be to say that anisotropic, inhomogeneous gases is what we actually experience. Yet you're saying that we have a homogeneous universe. That sounds like a second law of thermodynamics violation. At what point did it become homogeneous? Isotropic is not what we experience. Anisotropic is how we experience gases. Inhomogeneous is how we experience gases. This crap about what we look at through the lens of a telescope to then describe it as homogeneous is garbage.
fancy way of saying that it looks.
Maybe he's going. Maybe he's going by the model of it all being fluids, right?
I don't know.
So he's thinking of all the gas like liquids, and then perhaps they could be homogeneous.
It sounds like a second law of thermodynamics violation.
It's the same in every direction from all locations. Take any sufficiently large chunk of the universe and it looks pretty much identical to any other. Look in any direction from anywhere and you'll see roughly the same thing. On the grandest cosmic scales, there are no special.
What? You're telling me that if I look at a section of the sky, it looks basically the same as another section of the sky? Utter shite! The fact that you can define features in the sky has helped us navigate the ground. You're telling me it all basically looks the same? How the fuck did we ever navigate with it then?
He's even saying it that on the other side of this claim to be universe, everything looks the same on the other side of the universe, according to him. So it's the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard a baller say. I don't know what kind of drugs that guy is on, but
Actually inaccurate.
Elsewhere.
If the stars all basically look the same, they would have absolutely no practical application to save your life at sea with celestial navigation. Celestial? Stars? No, they don't all look the same. They've got very discernible points that move with patterns that we can predict to save our bloody lives with. To just fly in the face of that and say, oh, it all looks the same. What?
Special places or directions that are distinguishable from any other.
What about North? What about Polaris? Polaris not special? Doesn't move and you use it to define how you move around the ground. It's used to define your maps. It's a very specific location. It's very special, we could say. So given that you've just described no special places and I can give you 1,000 maps that utilize Polaris, that makes it pretty fucking special, doesn't it, dipshit?
Cosmic vantage points are equal. And that.
So you're saying Mars is equally useful as Polaris? I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with Polaris being, let's use a word I don't typically describe stars with, special. Yeah, just because it pisses in your face.
That has profound implications.
It's just wrong. Yeah? This is me standing pissing in your face with how wrong you are. With Polaris.
It means that the universe
doesn't mean anything. The guy's a dick. Now, Gene, this is where you don't tell me how I need to cut it up or edit it. It's how you react to my reaction. That's what you do now. Right?
LOL.
Alternatively, 10 straight seconds of dead air is just as good for all the enthusiasm I just put into a link somebody specifically asked me to react to. Or me moaning about it could be talked straight through. That's just as good.
No, this appears to be another daft cow. This is
There's
not
currently a leak
Skylar.
on the International Space Station, and this news is breaking right now.
No, there isn't. A leak would infer that there is a pressurized system floating around our head in a sky vacuum. Now, there is a light we call the ISS. But the stage show that they show you on the telly, what, they've got a leak on the Enterprise? Because that's what you might as well be saying. There is no men floating around in an orbital motion around a sphere planet as is derived from a flat plane to infer that the International Space Station stage show has got a leak. We're off to a very bad start.
I don't have all the information, but
You don't have any information. You're completely ignorant. You're a total bimbo.
we do know some
Sorry, you don't have any information, but you do know stuff. No, you don't.
things. Russia's space agency
No, you're now going to, again, like the last total bimbo, regurgitate up the surface puke you lapped from the internet. That's what you're about to do. So you don't have any information, but what you can do is regurgitate surface puke.
Roscosmos said that they suffered a leak from the backup cooling system on their module attached to the ISS.
And from Nathan Oakley source, Narnia reported lower than ever oxygen levels. The trees aren't doing their job in Narnia. We don't have any information, but we do have a very reliable source called Nathan Oakley, who said Oxygen levels depleting in Narnia.
This cooling system is meant to regulate onboard temperatures for astronauts and for the science. So now
No, there are no temperature regulations on spaceships floating around in sky vacuums. Let's take a picture of what she's got on screen now. This would be 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum. This is claimed to be a high-pressure gas. Now, do you know what happens when you put a high-pressure gas next to a vacuum? The gas fills the space. So if this was real, this little stage show that you've just decided without any information is completely true because you read it yourself, then we'd all be dead. This picture is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Gas fills space. We'd all be dead if this was real. The sky is not a vacuum.
NASA astronauts went to some of the windows.
Liars who claim to be in a sky vacuum. Like, if they said they were going through the wardrobe to Narnia, that would make them liars. If they say they're going into a second law of thermodynamics violation, that makes them liars. You just don't have very much discernment, love. When you said you'd got no information, what you meant to say was, I have done no research. That's what you meant.
On the ISS, and they could visually see that there.
No, they couldn't. Why are you describing from a third-person perspective something that you've regurgitated, that you lapped off the internet, the surface puke of heliocentrism? That's what this is.
Was a leak coming from a radiator on that module.
Really?
Yeah.
Did the gas come out of the ISS and into the sky vacuum, leaving them all in danger? What about all the people on this blue bit here? Aren't they in any danger? What's retaining all of the high-pressure gas in this blue bit? Because in the ISS, in your sky vacuum narrative that you're puking back up at us, right? You've got a container holding the gas, and apparently there's a, emergency because the gas might be leaking into the vacuum. Yeah, that's what would happen to all of this gas down here, love. This would all bugger off into space too, because it's got no containment.
So far, nobody is sure how much coolant leaked, what caused the leak, and how long it's been leaking for.
What caused it? It would be caused through a process called entropy. It's also known, my dear, as the second law of thermodynamics. That's how you would describe the gas vacating from the containment of the ISS in your sky vacuum into the area of volume that all of the gas below on Earth would also fill. Gas fills space. And check it out, your story is all about the gas filling the space, with absolutely not a hint of irony, while there's a high-pressure gas claimed to be directly below it. So the gas from the ISS is filling the sky vacuum, but this gas below, that's all right. It's going down, go boom, boom. What a total idiot. Get some discernment, love. Learn what the second law of thermodynamics is while you describe how gas fills space from the sky vacuum ISS in orbit, but isn't doing it from the ground below. Dumbo.
Do they even hear themselves when they speak?
Yes. But
Hopefully,
I'd like
like
to remind everybody that it's not that big a deal. I mean, let me quote Don Pettit, right? When there's a leak, there's a leak. It's not a big deal.
Mentioned, this is the backup cooling system, and Roscosmos says that the main cooling system is working fine, so at the moment, nobody's in danger.
Nobody's in danger of
thank
entropy
God.
taking hold and
Thank
taking
God.
away all the gas they're breathing. Nobody's in danger of that second law of thermodynamics. Inevitability. If gas were to leave the ISS and fill the sky vacuum. The ground below, how's that doing, love? All the gas, the yummy gas that I'm breathing right now, that's at high pressure. What's containing that? Is it not recognising the problem in your little story here, love? Clearly not. Go ahead, whoever that was from Discord.
I wanted to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
Right. So, yeah, I've watched a lot of Hollywood movies that have space in them and all that. And usually, when there's a leak, it's quite the event, right? And more than often leads to the total destruction of the entire ship. So, yeah, I guess that on the Earth, it's not like that. It only works like that in movies.
3 for 3. 3 very stupid girls.
However, the crew on board did close shutters on windows on the US segment of the station to prevent contamination from the leaking coolant. Otherwise, there
What? So, to prevent what? The dispersion of the gas into the availability of volume? Well, it sounds like entropic law's the problem here, isn't it, love? They've got to protect themselves against the entropy that takes hold. The gas spreading out into areas of volume it can fill. Like the sky vacuum surrounding the ISS. They wouldn't want to lose gas to that. Earth, meanwhile, how's it containing the gas? Obviously, the ISS just went through that sky vacuum via the pressure that we're all breathing that has no containment in this bullshit story. Is that really what you believe? Oh no, the gas might escape the ISS. Gas on the ground. Perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
there shouldn't be an impact to anyone or anything on the space station, but this is concerning. There's currently a leak on the
Garbage. Just bimbos. Bimbo number 2. Bimbo number 1.
Yeah, there's
So-called
leakage, all
TikTok
right.